My name's Tiger and I live in Townsville. I'm 69 years of age, lived here for approximately 15 years. Well, all my life I've been plant operating, mainly station plant and heavy mining. I've done work on some of the major mines when they were starting up in North Queensland, and I went running or managing dam sinking plants and land clearing and that, and spent 10 years underground in Mount Isa mines. And what I do now is just work around home doing mechanical work around the cars and whatever. I do it in short bursts of about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I knock up so I have a spell and do it again, go again. Just old age. I was caretaking the mate station at the time because my back was crook. I was crook at the time, and I just had massive pain in the heart. Went into Charters Towers and they transferred me down here. That was the start of the whole thing, and then it just kept going. I got bad arthritis, degeneration of spinal column, sugar diabetic, prostate has all been fixed, kidneys play up. Just generally about most of the normal things you get for old people. Well, my whole life consists of my family's love to me. Otherwise, straight out, I would have topped myself last year because I am very prone to depression. And I went through a lot of depression last year after I stopped smoking. I got very thick lungs out of that, been damaged, and I went through a lot of depression, and it become very close at times.
Well, every time he's been in hospital, I've rang them up and I've told them, like the grandchildren, they all stress out and we all stress, which is only natural.
My name is Brian and I'm Tiger's son.
I'm Madison and I'm his granddaughter.
It's been a concern in a number of ways. Obviously the stress of people being unwell and watching them suffer, but it's also been quite a stress in that it's been such a long journey with not many answers, and you see a lot of frustration in Dad where he goes in and to the point where they've almost accused him of making stories up.
Tiger definitely has a case that is not black and white and there's no easy solution, and as a result it's quite frustrating for him and the rest of the family that he is not ever getting to a point where he's well and fully functional to where he should be.
Hi, my name's Ron and I am a GP in Townsville, and I've been treating Tiger and his family since 1997 actually. And Tiger has multiple complex problems which involve many professionals, and it's been a joy to try to coordinate that, but it's also been quite a challenge.
By understanding the unique journey of patients such as Tiger through his eyes, you can understand what happens in the real world of patient care in your local system and identify ideas for change. By working through the patient journey involving the wider care team, we aim to identify what is working well, what is not working well, what opportunities are there to improve the journey for this patient, and what opportunities are there to improve the system. The first step in mapping out Tiger's journey was to sit with him and together identify the wider care team. This included identifying immediate family and friends, local GP, allied health, local pharmacist, cardiology nurse, hospital administration representative, and local support services. Once the wider care team are identified, providers involved in the patient's network can be invited to contribute to mapping the patient journey.
My name's Andrew Knight. I'm from the Blue Mountains, west of Sydney. I'm a GP there, and I'm here basically to facilitate the evening. We thought a bit about what we're trying to achieve. Basically what we're going to do is we're very grateful that Tiger's come along with his family, and Tiger's going to share with us his health journey. just in one episode of his health care, of going into hospital. He and his family, of course, are the experts in what actually happened to him, but we have gathered a number of other members of his healthcare team, from general practice, primary care, to hospital care, pharmacy, all here to talk about Tiger's journey, with the goal of learning from his journey some of the changes we might want to make to the system to improve things. So we're hoping that by the end of this process, we will be able to describe, we will have written down Tiger's journey. We might be able to identify some alternative paths that we could have taken, maybe. And we may be able even to identify some improvements we might be able to make. And this will all inform a major project that's happening here in Townsville over the next few months, which is a group of general practices and other health services, a hospital and many other services, working together to try and integrate care. That is, to make patient journeys smooth and seamless. Too often in Australia at the moment, patient journeys are disjointed and there's failure of information, repetition, falling through the cracks, mistakes and harm occurring because the path is not smooth. So we're working on a big project to try and smooth the path, and tonight is a little bit of that as we look at one patient's journey, one pathway, reflect on it and try and come up with ways that we can improve it. So that's what we're on about.
My name is Tiger Corrigan, and I'm from Townsville for the last 15 odd years, and I've just been poking on, doing what I'm doing here.
You're the star of the show. So we need to identify a beginning and an end. So I want you to cast your mind back to the beginning when you weren't going to hospital, when you were just ticking along, and Glenys might have an idea about this too, and in fact the family might be able to remember. I think the beginning is probably when you were in a stable state and not even getting crook back at the beginning. That's probably where we want to start. Does that make sense, or what do you think, Tiger?
Started feeling unwell, and I was getting blood pressure wasn't it? Was going around because of my headaches and general headaches and blood pressure.
The beginning is you're well, I suppose. That's the beginning. Yep. And then we've got to have an end. So you came home.
When I come home.
So let's call it home.
Oh, yeah.
Home, okay. I'd like each person to think about this process and just say, do you think it was useful? And if it was, what do you think is useful about this? And maybe comment as to how it could be improved, something like that. Just take a moment to think about what we've done tonight and just think about pluses, minuses and improvements.
So from my perspective, because I do a lot of systems redesign and that, we don't often engage the patient. So often we'll look at a process, we'll redesign the process, and we'll leave out the most important person, which is the patient. And the patient is the only person who sees the entire journey. We only see fragments of that, so that's a really key point to actually bring someone in who actually experiences the whole journey. So I'll be going back to work and we'll be pushing national standard number 2 even harder.
I think I was surprised at how actually good the process was overall, and just highlighted a few of the little speed bumps which seems to come around to exchanging information up here, down there. But the actual process itself wasn't too bad.
I suppose my main interest from my profession would be the aftercare, and sort of it reiterated to me that even if we don't specifically see that customer, even if it is the family members that we see, maybe our role in all of this is to check up. Obviously we can't house call every customer, maybe checking in with family and saying, look, how is this going? How is it? I noticed that Ron acted on the psychologist straight away, pretty much within that next visit. Antidepressant medication was given, so that maybe to us that should have triggered what was discussed in hospital as a result of it.
From a hospital perspective, because we only see this part,
Yes.
so, and with Tiger coming back frequently and then being quite dismissive at times and saying, oh well, there's nothing we can do for you, that to know that he's actually been through all this and he is trying hard to manage it, so by the time he does get to us that he's really reached breaking point, that he's had no other option, he's not doing it because he feels like it, you know.
It's very refreshing to see that there's people who are prepared to go the extra mile. This could be me in 20 years, most likely will with the genetics, but it is really refreshing to see that people do take a genuine interest. There's people at the hospital, there's people, GPs and everyone else who is here tonight, so I'd just like to say thank you very much.
Well, overall, I can see a variation of different opinions that were different to what my conception was. And that's, put it all starting to come into its own perception of what is really going on, or how it's become. And especially from the hospital side here and that. I just hope that the whole thing gives an insight for other patients and into the whole overall scheme. If you've got a couple of days going and you start picking out where there's things where it can be improved and help people, patients and that in general, that it all works. Because no matter what system you got, what company or whatever you want to call them, there's going to be speed bumps or bumps and something not going to mesh in properly. And the only way to get rid of it is this, sit down and talk. And that's what I say. And thank you all very much, because I greatly appreciate everybody's input. I realise a few different things sort of in different perspectives. So thank you.